Welcome back to another episode of the Lunch Table. Lunch is in session. Let's see what's in the menu for today's episode. To keep anonymity, let's call our submitter Ray. Let's see what Ray has to say. I'm starting my junior year, and my friends and classmates have already been discussing the college application process. With test scores, extracurricular activities, and college writing, I feel overwhelmed on how I should prepare during my junior year. What areas should I be focusing on during my junior year to prepare for college applications? I know how you feel, Ray. I'm sure you're not the only one who feels this way. I'm applying for college right now, and I feel very overwhelmed. Hopefully, this episode will give you some clarity. Hey seniors, how are you guys feeling about the college application process? I know just hearing those two words stresses me out and a lot of you out also. The college application process can be very daunting for students just learning about it. 72% of students say that applying to college is difficult, and 76% of students feel that it's a life-defining moment. It can feel very overwhelming, especially when people around you already have an idea of where they want to go and what they want to do. Being a part of QHSS, we're no strangers to academic pressure. Starting from our sophomore year of high school, we're expected to be doing internships and programs during our summer vacations. Although we have the merits, the most difficult part has to be the college essays. As we're a science-specialized school, for some of us, writing is not a strong suit. When it comes to Ray's dilemma, who better to ask than a teacher? Okay, Ms. Holzman and Ms. Monahan are both teachers from the English department. Ms. Holzman currently teaches AP English Language and Composition and College ELA Intro Writing, and Ms. Monahan currently teaches AP Literature. Both offer resources for writing college applications and offer students help when they need it. Okay, so as a little icebreaker, like when you're meal prepping or cooking, like do you like getting your ingredients before cooking, or do you like grabbing it like free willy, like you just grab it on the way, like while you're doing it?
I get everything together first, and then I measure it all out in my measuring cups, and then I put it all in like one bowl, or I put it wherever it has to go.
Depends on the day. I like to get everything out, but sometimes I'm, running in 4 different directions and I'm doing it on the fly, and then suddenly it's like 8 o'clock and dinner isn't done yet. So it's better if it's all out ahead of time, but it doesn't always happen.
Yeah, I'm more like a person to like get my ingredients before I start cooking because I don't want to be overstimulated while I'm cooking and trying to get everything in order. Like my mom's a very like OCD person. Like she needs everything like cleaned and cooked and cut and pushed while she's cooking. So she definitely passed that on to me. How did you feel when this person is struggling and is getting like really stressed and anxious during the college application process? Did you feel the same way, or like were you more confident?
When we were students?
Yeah.
Definitely. I think just the overall process of like what is the rest of your life going to look like, extremely like overwhelming, and if you didn't freak out about that, I would be very shocked. But I will say I think something to focus on is like what would you like to do, right? Not what do you want to do, but what would you like to do. And when you frame it that way, it opens up to a bunch of different possibilities, right? Like I knew I wanted to help people. I knew I really liked English classes and I knew I loved to read. I liked working with young people, and taking all those things that I liked doing and found enjoyment in, I was able to find a career in a school that allowed me to do those things. So I think you just have to frame it a different way. And that helped me stay organized, but also gave me kind of an idea of where I need to go.
So trying to think back to when I was applying to college, I was the youngest. I had 2 older brothers, and so definitely I'd like seen them go through it. So I felt like that was helpful because like my parents knew what was going to happen. I knew what was going to happen. So we sort of had a timeline and a plan. And also the other thing is it's, as someone who's changed careers, as many people do, is, it's not necessarily determining the rest of your life. So it's, decide what you want to do, but it's okay if you don't know, and just decide what you want to do for now.
Okay. So being both ELA teachers and having experience applying to college, like what is the first thing you recommend students doing when applying for college?
I think the first thing, are you talking about in sort of trying to choose where to apply, or in writing their applications?
Could be anything.
Right. So I think in terms of writing their applications, just give it a lot of time. Start early. Do a lot of brainstorming, because you don't know what's going to where you're going to end up until you give it a lot of time and a lot of tries. In terms of choosing colleges, I think just really think about what makes you happy. Like, would you be happy in a big city? Would you be happy in a suburbs? Would you be happy in a small town? Do you like something small? Do you like if you're a QHSS student, do you want to go somewhere big, which is a whole new universe. And so think in those terms before you start thinking about particular places where the stats of where you're going to get in or where everyone else is applying.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think the biggest question that my family had like pushed on to me was, where do you want to be, and like how much do you want to pay for that experience? Because that was something that I really needed to consider. I'm from a small town in upstate New York, like middle of nowhere, so I knew I wanted to be in a big city. That was my location. So I would recommend considering where you want to be, like physically in the world, and then from there, what's like the realistic price that you're going to spend. I mean, college is priceless in my opinion, but there are some pros and cons of taking out lots of student loans, and considering, do you need to take out private loans because maybe you don't get FAFSA. So being reasonable about that and considering a bunch of different options there.
Welcome to the lunch table. I'm your host, Favour Ajayi. It's a new school year, meaning more memories, but also more hurdles and challenges. Don't worry, because the lunch table has got you. Feel free to share any concerns through our Google form on the Cardinal Chronicles. You can remain 100% anonymous. What are some things you wish you knew or someone should have told you when applying to college?
I would say that your experience is your own. Like the colleges and the schools that you apply to is because that's what you want to do potentially for your future and to make your life better, and to experience the experiences that you want to have. I think it's very hard to say, like, don't acknowledge the things your friends are doing or what society says or what like your parents want you to do, or like that's a very hard thing to do. But at the end of the day, you are the one experiencing college. You're the one that has to show up every day and do the work. So pick something that you are going to enjoy. If you're going to be in upstate New York in the middle of December, it's cold. It's really, really cold. Do you want to be in freezing cold weather while it's raining and windy and cold? But also, like, are you actually going to be successful going to an Ivy League? Yes, an Ivy League's an awesome school, but are you going to be stressed out the entire time that you're not going to be able to, like, do anything other than study, right? There's a school for everyone, so consider that.
I don't think I could add anything. I think you just said like everything. So we'll just listen to Ms. Monahan. She's wise.
What are some non-negotiables that you think are absolutely necessary during college applications?
Don't leave it till the last minute. I mean, it is so hard not to. It's stressful. There's a lot, and you also have schoolwork and extracurriculars and everything else going on, and so it is very difficult not to leave it to the last minute. And but procrastinating is not going to be your friend.
Yeah, I think just to build upon that is, again, it's your story. The writing that you're doing, the questions you're answering are yours. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to answer each of those. I mean, there's definitely ways to go about it and be successful, but I think at the same time, like, you don't need like 8 billion people to look over your essays. Pick one person you trust, maybe two, and once you've talked it out with them and worked it out and become satisfied, just submit it. Like, harping about it and agonizing over it isn't going to make it easier. It's just going to make it harder.
Okay, and finally, what colleges did you guys go to, and did you guys enjoy your experience?
So I went to St. John's University. I went there for undergrad and grad school to become a teacher. But I actually changed my major like 3 times. I started off as working with like it was like early childhood students, like babies, like pre-K, and I realized I didn't want any part of that. Not that they're bad, it's just it wasn't something I was interested in. And then I became an English major, and I thought I'd work for like a publishing company, and maybe write a book or two, and that's a dream eventually one day. But I decided I wanted to help people, because that was something that I always was passionate about, and I did a lot of volunteer work with. So I ended up transferring into the education program with English as my minor, and then I got my master's degree through there as well.
And did you enjoy college?
Oh yeah, I did. I loved college. I don't want to say it was the best 5 years of my life, because I think that would like limit what I'm doing now, because I've experienced a lot of time since then. But it helped me become the person who I am today, not just as a teacher, but also just as a human being who thinks and like interacts with other people. And it helps me be who I am, and it continues to help me be who I am. And I think that's really important.
Okay, so I went to Harvard and I was an English major, and I entered thinking I was going to be a college English professor and left thinking I was going to be a college English professor, and then down the line realized that that's not actually what I wanted to do with my life. I want to be a high school English teacher. Actually, when I was applying to college and people were like, oh, you're going to be an English major, you're going to teach high school, I would have said absolutely not. I hate teenagers. As a teenager myself, clearly age changed that. Now I love working with teenagers. So, but yes, I loved it. You know, it was just unbelievable wealth of resources, and I really like made sure I took advantage of it. So I was like a student member of the museum because I'm a big old nerd, and I would like go to like gallery talks at the museum, and I would like visiting dignitaries would come and I would go hear them, and I got to work in the archives at Radcliffe, the Women's College Library. So I got to do and work with professors, actually an education professor. So I definitely, it took a lot of, and various clubs, you know, I was very much, if I'm going to go there, I need to take advantage of everything that I have, and cannot imagine how much I learned and experienced in those 4 years.
Thank you. What is one advice you'd recommend students to do if they're feeling overwhelmed by applying to colleges?
I think one thing is to figure out why you're feeling overwhelmed. Is it because you have too much to do, and then you need to like sit down and set up a game plan and a schedule? Is it because the uncertainty is stressful, and then figure out like what can I do to give myself some control in that situation? And definitely talk to the grown-ups in your life. There are a lot in this building who really care about students and will help them.
I guess something I always think about is like, why do you want to do this? Like, why do you want to? And I know that sounds like a silly question. Why do you want to go to college? Like, obviously, it's something you all aspire to do in some capacity. But I think if you see like what are your long-term goals, and your long-term goals might not be something specific, like I want to do X job, but it might be, you know, I want to own something one day, or I want to, you know, take care of the people that I love, and this is going to be the way I can do that. Or, I want to learn something and be challenged by something. Whatever your reason why, I guess, is for applying to college should always be the thing that you're thinking about. That, and go for maybe a walk after, like when you're stressed out. I think separating yourself from what you're doing, and just taking a moment to take a deep breath and like literally do absolutely nothing will help. So whether it's a walk or just sitting still for a few minutes, or I don't know, like literally anything that helps you relax, do it for a few minutes and then try again, because you'll figure out what that why is.
And that concludes The Lunch Table. The Lunch Table is the Cardinal Chronicle's podcast-style advice column where the people of QHSS can submit their entries asking for advice on anything. Struggling in a class, friendship drama, or holiday dilemmas, feel free to share whatever's been on your mind. This was produced by Joyce Lynn and Favour Ajayi. This is your host, Favour Ajayi, signing off.